session. I'm letting in Senator Jackson, and we are being live streamed as of now. So let's get started. Good morning, everyone. My name is Delegate Deborah Davis from Charles County. This is the Charles County delegation meeting. Today's date is Friday, February 24th. Each of you have been sent a copy of the agenda. We have one last minute update from the University of Maryland Charles Regional Medical Center. They want an opportunity to present to perhaps ask for a support letter for funds. Any other additions or deletions to the agenda before we move forward? Seeing none. All right, we have 5 Charles County bills. My chief of staff have included all of the hearing dates. There's only one change, and that is Delegate Davis will be carrying the Tri-County Council bill. We've made amendments. We've done to get them forward. We're working with Sherry Sims to make sure all the bills are in alignment. And unless you have any questions, I want to move forward so we can hear from our guest. Any questions? I can't see everyone, so you're going to have to scream. Maybe I'll do it like that so I can see. Okay. We are going to give 10 or 15 minutes to Cornerstone Strategies. Who wants to take it?
I'll go ahead and start. Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the delegation. Pleasure to be here with you. This is my first meeting of the delegation for this session. I think between Chris and myself, we've met with each of you or with the offices to make a request for you. I don't know of those that haven't met one of the newest members of our Cornerstone, Christopher Dews. Christopher and I represent Charles County, the town of La Plata, and he's done a lot of the legwork, and he's a pleasure to work with. He's very organized, which is a talent that I'm somewhat lacking in, as some of you probably know, but we're here to present a request, a possible request for $500,000 for the town of La Plata. As you have experienced over the last several years, the town of La Plata has grown. The anticipated growth is significant with the new subdivision that you see that's coming online. The developer is the largest residential developer in the country, so they're expecting a significant growth. And they've already outgrown their little police station that was the old post office there in La Plata. They did an extensive feasibility study and engineering study. They were looking at the old Southern Maryland Oil building on 301 next to the McDonald's there. The cost came back way over what they were anticipating. They were looking at something around $7 million. They spent around $1 million for the whole feasibility and the engineering and studies associated with retrofitting the building, and it came with the price tag around $17 million. Needless to say, they can't support it. They spent this money for the preliminary engineering and feasibility study. So we made a request of them, former Governor Hogan, for $500,000 to do a feasibility / engineering for a new site. They're looking at 2 sites in particular, one in the town of La Plata and one possibly on the Box Elder Road. You're probably familiar with the old 3 Heart Handicapped Retarded Citizens building there. We worked with the Department of General Services, Department of Health. They declared the property surplus. We were hoping to have that deeded over to the town. We needed a letter from the county, and as you know, things are sort of in an upheaval at the county, so that we're hoping for the appropriate time to reinstate that request. But that is one of the sites. That $500,000 that we had in the Hogan budget was eliminated when Governor Moore came in. And therefore, we working with the town of La Plata are taking a 3-pronged approach. You've all got a copy of a letter that we sent to the Chief of Staff and to the Secretary for the Department of Budget Management requesting that $500,000. We're hoping to have that in stock if in the supplemental budget or a succeeding supplemental budget, because we're expecting more than one. If it's not in that, we have started meetings with the appropriation leadership, both in the House and the Senate, for possible inclusion. As you know, the House and the Senate both have up $50 million each for bond bill initiatives and other things. So we're hoping that we might be able to get it there. And if we're not successful there, our last result would be to come to the delegation for possibly a bond bill. Without being remiss if I did not thank the delegation. We did not thank the delegation last year. We were able to get $500,000 for a new community center there in Dorchester, in the town of La Plata. Those discussions are underway with the folks at Dorchester there to look at the operation once we're successful in getting the building in place. So that's pretty much in a nutshell the 500,000 request. I will say the mayor wanted to be here. She's unable to be here. She has something that came up. We were hoping Brent would be here, the town manager. He was a little under the weather yesterday. He may join us, I'm not sure. Chris, is anything that I may have missed or anything that you want to add?
No, I think you covered it well. Just I know, you know what? Yeah, you nailed it, Mac.
You all may remember Chris from Jobs Opportunity Task Force.
Yes, I work with Chris a lot.
Yeah.
Indeed.
We're very, very, very pleased to have him.
Yes.
One of my best sponsors.
And let's not ignore the fact that we have Senator Mac Middleton here before us from Charles County. Let's not ignore that. So welcome. So we have gone through our bond bill process for this year. So, I want to make that statement. And you do know, and Senator, you would know probably more than anyone where these funds might come from otherwise. And you mentioned that go ahead and tell me what you mentioned.
Okay. Well, first of all, we didn't want to come to you first for the $500,000. We wanted to make that as the last resort. No, you finished that process, but we were very fortunate at the end last year to get the $500,000.
Right.
Given the fact that this is the most money in the history of the Maryland General Assembly, that the House has been given $50 million and the Senate has been given $50 million. Hopefully there may be some room to possibly squeeze that in. If not, we certainly understand. But our first approach is to get a supplemental appropriation. As I mentioned, you have a copy of the letter that we sent to them, and we've already begun discussions with the appropriation chairs because, as you know, in the capital budget and the operating budget, they can rearrange things. So,
okay.
And if we aren't successful, then and only then would we request something from the delegation.
All right. Are there any questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
Hi, Senator Middleton. This is Joy from Chairman Wilson's office.
Yes.
I know you had a meeting with the chairman, I think a couple days ago. And did you all go over this? I think that was part of the conversation.
Correct. We talked about an issue. He met with myself and one of our clients, and at the opportunity I had an opportunity to sit to talk with him about the project. We also had sent the same letter that we sent you all to. You should have enjoyed the letter of request for the funding that we sent to the Secretary for DBM.
Yes, I did get that. And I don't know if you discussed or he asked a question, but in case he has further questions, I know it says a design and engineering costs associated with a new public safety facility. But I do know on the agenda, it says a police station or double as a community center. Is it going to be either or how is it going to double as a community center if it's a police station?
No, it's was that maybe there's some misunderstanding, and the mayor's here who sent the letter. We were successful in getting money last year for the community center, so there may be some confusion there. No, this is strictly. Correct me if I'm wrong, Madam Mayor. This request is strictly for the new public safety, the police station, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so it's strictly for the public safety facility. Is that the same thing? I mean, is it for the police station or
Yes.
is it the public safety facility means it could be something else concerning public safety other than the police station?
Right now, it's just the police station.
Okay, and then you said it's gonna be a feasibility study, and where's the building that you all are looking to for?
Well, let me just turn it over to the mayor. She may want to say hello and just take it up from here.
Good morning,
Okay.
everyone. Sorry for my delay. Always good for computer problems there. But thank you for taking the time out to hear us and hear our request. We are asking for money for a police station. I'm not sure how much Mac has given you as a background, but our police station was literally a post office, and it is the size of a post office. And we are growing as La Plata grows. Our police station is growing to support the well-being and health of the growth of our town. And we are in the need of a police department. So we have identified several areas. We tried very, very hard to re-outfit a existing building, but the cost was incredible. It would have been after 40 years of paying on the land lease and re-outfitting the building, it would have been close to $30 million, and we wouldn't have owned the building. We didn't think that was a good use of our money, the townspeople's money. So we are looking at finding an area where we can build a state-of-the-art police station to accommodate the growth and safety and well-being of our citizens.
Okay, so it wouldn't be in an existing building. You all would build it from the ground.
No, we tried very, very hard. It was about an 8-month going back and forth with the owner of that building and also with our design team. And it just, in the end, the cost was way too much to justify to the taxpayers.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
And Joy, where I left it with the chairman was I just briefly discussed it with him and told him if there's any follow-up information that he needs, certainly we're there to provide that. And just one other thing, I know when you look at the guidelines that they give for the local bond initiatives, county and municipal projects shouldn't be a priority, but at the end of the day, it's up to the delegation, whatever the delegation feels. And I will note that I think there are at least 2 other police upgrade stations that are in the local bond initiative request. So, and this wouldn't be the first time that this has been done. So,
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Mayor James, I don't want to miss the opportunity to ask how's the library coming?
The library is slow. You know how you might know how county government is a little bit, huh? So we found it so important to have the library remain in the county seat. So we did donate $1.3 million or leased them for 99 years. And they have come to the design review board. They have passed that. And now it's all county. And it's been a little bit quiet as far as the progress there. They're dealing with other things. I don't know if the library is a top priority right now, but the design that I have seen is beautiful. And it is going to accommodate everyone. It's going to be a space for nonprofits. It's going to be a learning center for those kiddos that need extra help there. So it is a state of the art from what I have seen. So I am anxious for that to start. It's been way too long. You know that.
Okay, well, congratulations on getting this far, I guess.
Yes. Now we've done our part. We've done everything we can. Now it's all county.
Okay.
Chairman Davis, I was at an event night before last, and it was mentioned to me from Senator Zucker's office that the request for the library came from the town. And I think there may be some confusion. That's a county obligation. And I think the county request, I think where the confusion may come, and I haven't seen the request, the county commissioners are probably using the land that the town is leasing to them for $1 a year as an in-kind contribution. So there may be a little bit of confusion, Senator Jackson, when it comes to that one particular issue there. It's not a request from the town, it's a request, I believe, and I wasn't aware that the county may have been requesting some funding for the library.
Well, I'm glad I asked. That's
I
something we
am
can clear up.
too.
That's something we can clear up. All right. If there are no other questions, we're going to move to our next agenda item. And that would be, thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you. Good
Thank you
seeing
for having
you.
us.
All right.
Thank you very much. If you need
It
any
was a
follow-up
pleasure, Mr. Chair.
information, just give either Chris or myself a call.
Great.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
for your
Have a
time.
great weekend.
All right. You too.
All right, bye.
Are there members for the University of Maryland Charles Regional Medical Center on board? I see Mr. Zanger. How are you?
Well, how are you?
Good. You must have been really nice to my chief of staff because we don't make last minute agenda additions.
Well, I thank you very much for doing so. To those that, I may not be familiar with, my name is Albert Zanger. I'm the Chief Financial Officer here at the University of Maryland Charles Regional Medical Center. And I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak with you this morning. And I'd also like to take a minute and thank you for the letter of support that you all provided to us last year. We had requested the congressionally designated funding for the emergency department expansion that is currently underway. Unfortunately, that project was not approved, with Van Hollen and Senator Van Hollen and Senator Cardin's office. But, nonetheless, we certainly appreciate your support last year for that. And we are going back to them this year with the request for funding to replace our MRI machine in the hospital. And, the MRI machine, it's, used for three-dimensional pictures of the anatomy to help make, diagnoses and clinical decisions and support patient care, especially around, brain injury, stroke, have big uses for that. Our current MRI machine is about 18 years old, and it's older technology. It's a smaller unit, so larger size patients, physical size, we often have to find other resources to get imaging services for them. So we are looking to replace the current MRI machine with newer technology, larger bore size to accommodate larger patients. And in doing so, it will reduce the turnaround times for the MRI itself. The newer machines, produce the images more quickly to help improve, decision-making on our clinical staff, as well as to improve the patient's experience. They're not sitting on the table for 40, 50 minutes at times. It'll be cut down quite substantially. The financial request that we will be making to Senator Van Hollen's office is for about $1.5 million to fund the machine itself, as well as some construction that will be related to getting it installed and all the work that goes on that. So again, our request is again for a letter of support from the Charles County delegation, if that's something you'd be willing to consider. And again, I thank you for this opportunity to present to you, and I'm happy to take any questions you may have.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Yes, Senator Jackson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, Albert. Question for you. You mentioned that last year's request was not approved. Any particular reason why not?
Yeah, what was relayed back to me is there was a misunderstanding that being part of the University of Maryland medical system, we're a member organization of the University of Maryland medical system. There was a misunderstanding that the system had funding to help support us. We are our own not-for-profit entity. All the capital and upgrades that we need to make in our facility come through our own operating income. The system does not have a pool of money to pass down to hospitals. All the revenue is really generated from the hospitals to help support the system. We will at times share resources across our medical system for very large projects, whether it's building a new hospital or other matters such as that. But Senator Van Hollen's office, I believe, was under the impression that there was a pool of money sitting at the system level to help us, and that the federal funds was not needed.
All right, I appreciate that, Madam Chair, if I might.
Yes.
So what happened to those projects you were intending that the delegation signed off on last year as a supporter for the concept? So it looks as if you moved to another project now. Did you complete that on your own, or was that still
Yes, we are in the process of completing it on our own. So the emergency department expansion and modernization is currently underway. It's been underway for, I guess, a little less than 1 year now. Construction has been underway for a little less than 1 year. It is anticipated that it'll be completed by the end of this calendar year or early in 2024. So we ended up shifting priorities and, funding that we have around to be able to accommodate that project on our own.
I appreciate that. I know, and that part of that request also dealt with the behavioral health component, and so I represent a very small portion of Charles County, and 75% of Calvert, and then parts of Prince George's County, and then we just completed a behavioral health facility and a emergency room facility at MedStar. So I'm trying to kind of understand the concept of how federal dollars and the support of the delegation and local dollars will help you get what you need. That behavioral health piece is something that this delegation is very much interested in, to ensure that those in middle to southern Charles County have access to the Prince George's County facility. MedStar can help out in the northern region. So that's the reason I'm asking you about that particular request from last year. You mentioned the emergency room, but what about the behavior?
Yes. So let me clarify, please. And the emergency room expansion is to accommodate more behavioral health resources. So the entire expansion of our emergency department is more of a dedicated behavioral health holding or treatment area for those types of patients. So
Okay.
it wasn't necessarily for more medical cases. Now it will free up existing space in our current footprint, which is being utilized for behavioral health services, to expand, more medical treatment rooms. But the entire expansion was really, designed for behavioral health.
Yeah, I understood. Thank you very much for the response. And lastly, Madam Chair, if I might say, look, we're all of us, particularly those of us in Southern Maryland, we have some unique healthcare issues. Our environment is not conducive to healthy living. And so we want to continue to partner with you all as best we can. And so hopefully this year, our federal partners can help you out with your requests. I'm interested in being a supporter of this effort, and but please keep us up to speed on where you are every step of the way, and how we can help to ensure everything you need is there, especially the behavioral health piece. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you. And I don't think we have a quorum right now, but I can't imagine that there will be any opposition. So please work with my chief of staff to make sure we get a copy of the letter and any explanation you think the feds need to explain what your position is. Help us do that, okay?
I will. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And I know there's a deadline, and that's why you're here. You need it by when?
I believe it is March 3rd, and Joe Green is on. I think he can clarify if I'm misunderstanding that, but I believe it's next Friday.
Yeah, March 3rd.
Okay. We will take a vote. I can't imagine any opposition, so expect a letter and make sure you reach out to Sharon.
Will do.
Mr. Lanier. Anything else, you guys? Does Joe want to say anything? Is Joe okay? Anything he wants to add?
Morning, Delegate Joe Green here, GS Proctor and Associates. Now, Mrs. Zanger knocked out of the park. Just at March 3rd is the correct date. Let's just get that letter done. That's it.
Okay, thank you. You guys, anything else for the good of the order? Because I'd like to be early for session. Oh.
So, Madam Chair, I will be reaching out to your office regarding the Tri-County Council letter. I see Senator Ellis is not on board, so we'll continue to talk on our side.
Sounds great.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
If there's
thank you. I like that. Is there a second? I think it's only you and I right now. So second, meeting is adjourned. Thank you. See you guys.
Thank you.
2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.